Lesson: Vendor monitoring and compliance. Effective vendor monitoring and compliance are crucial components within the domain of third-party and vendor management, especially for professionals tasked with safeguarding information privacy. Ensuring that vendors adhere to contractual obligations and regulatory requirements can mitigate risks associated with data breaches, non-compliance penalties, and reputational damage. This lesson covers actionable insights, practical tools, and frameworks that certified information privacy managers can implement to enhance their proficiency in vendor monitoring and compliance. At the core of vendor monitoring is the understanding that third-party vendors can significantly impact an organization's data privacy posture. A survey by Deloitte revealed that 70% of organizations had experienced a third-party incident in the last 3 years, highlighting the critical need for effective oversight. The first step in vendor monitoring is conducting thorough due diligence before onboarding a vendor. This due diligence involves assessing the vendor's data protection policies, security measures, and compliance history. Tools such as the Vendor Risk Management Maturity Model help organizations evaluate the maturity of their vendor risk management processes by providing a structured approach to assess risk levels and identify areas for improvement. Once due diligence is complete and a vendor is onboarded, the next phase involves continuous monitoring to ensure compliance with agreed-upon terms and conditions. A practical tool for this is the use of automated compliance management software, which can track and alert organizations to any deviations from compliance requirements in real time. For instance, software solutions like OneTrust and TrustArc provide dashboards that offer visibility into vendor compliance activities, helping organizations identify risks promptly and take corrective action. A robust framework for vendor monitoring and compliance is the implementation of service-level agreements and data processing agreements. These agreements should clearly outline the privacy obligations and performance metrics that vendors must adhere to. Regular audits and assessments against these agreements are essential. Organizations should schedule periodic reviews and audits to ensure that vendors are meeting their obligations. This not only includes assessing the technical measures implemented by the vendor, but also evaluating the vendor's understanding and commitment to privacy principles. For example, annual or biannual reviews can be conducted using standardized questionnaires that assess compliance with GDPR or CCPA requirements. A case study illustrating the importance of SLAs and DPAs is the incident involving Target and its HVAC vendor, which led to a massive data breach affecting over 40 million customers. The lack of stringent oversight and inadequate contractual obligations allowed the breach to occur, demonstrating the critical need for detailed agreements and regular compliance checks. This case underscores the necessity of integrating compliance checks into the vendor management lifecycle to prevent similar incidents. Another practical aspect of vendor monitoring is the adoption of a risk-based approach. Not all vendors pose the same level of risk. Hence, organizations must prioritize monitoring efforts based on the risk profile of each vendor. The FAIR framework can be used to quantify and manage information risk, enabling organizations to focus resources on vendors that present the highest risk to data privacy. This approach ensures that high-risk vendors receive more frequent and in-depth assessments, while low-risk vendors are monitored with less intensity. Training and awareness programs for both internal employees and vendors play a vital role in ensuring compliance. Organizations should provide regular training sessions to educate staff about the importance of vendor monitoring and the specific compliance requirements that must be met. Similarly, vendors should be required to undergo training programs to familiarize themselves with the organization's privacy policies and expectations. Building a culture of compliance through education helps reinforce the importance of adhering to privacy standards and reduces the likelihood of non-compliance incidents. The implementation of a vendor management office is another strategy that can enhance vendor monitoring and compliance. A VMO is responsible for overseeing the entire vendor management process, from selection and onboarding to monitoring and termination. This office acts as a central point of contact for all vendor-related activities, ensuring consistency and accountability in managing vendor relationships. The VMO can leverage tools such as the Vendor Management Framework to establish standardized processes and procedures, enabling effective oversight and control over vendor compliance. Additionally, leveraging data analytics and reporting capabilities can provide valuable insights into vendor performance and compliance trends. By analyzing data collected from various monitoring activities, organizations can identify patterns and potential areas of concern. This data-driven approach allows for proactive management of vendor risks, enabling organizations to address issues before they escalate into significant problems. For example, predictive analytics can be used to forecast potential compliance violations based on historical data, allowing organizations to take preventive measures. In conclusion, effective vendor monitoring and compliance require a multifaceted approach that combines due diligence, continuous monitoring, robust contractual agreements, risk-based assessments, training and awareness programs, and the establishment of a dedicated vendor management office. By implementing these strategies and leveraging practical tools and frameworks, certified information privacy managers can enhance their proficiency in managing third-party and vendor relationships, ultimately safeguarding their organization's data privacy and minimizing the risk of non-compliance.